Je tiens à vous remercier d'être tous présents ce soir. Nous sommes ravis d'être ici. Tout d'abord, je voudrais remercier Dominique Nato, président de la Fédération de MMA française et toute son équipe, ainsi nos partenariats de l'Accor Arena. J'aimerais également vous remercier, vous, le média, et en particulier notre partenaire RMC, pour votre confiance et votre soutien lors de ce deuxième événement de l'UFC en France. Enfin, je souhaiterais saluer nos fans et les remercier d'avoir fait de cette toute première année en France un succès exceptionnel après notre premier événement historique à Paris l'an dernier. Nous avons hâte de continuer à partager ce moment extraordinaire avec vous. En anglais, we've got a few updates for you guys. First of all, the fight of the night goes to Benoit and Thiago Moises. The performance bonuses go to Cyril and Morgan Charrière. The attendance tonight was 15,610 for a sold-out arena here at Arena Accor, and a $4 million gate, which is the Accor Arena live gate record. We've got Benoit, who's being transported to the hospital, so he's not going to be able to participate in the post-fight presser. So I'll open up the floor to questions from anybody.
Hello. Just an update on Benoit. What is the issue? Why has he been sent to the hospital?
Left foot and ankle exam.
Okay. Outside of that, I mean, just an incredibly impressive evening for the French. Impressive performance by Cyril in the main event. Yeah. Curious of your takeaways from that fight.
I mean, one, the decibel level, I think, was something we hadn't heard in a long time. I mean, we talk about this a lot. You get to these, home shows, arenas, fervent fans, whether it's, Jose in Rio or George in Montreal or Alex in Stockholm, and the list goes on. And you never think that you can get like that fever pitch even higher than it is before. That felt louder than last year. I'm not sure what you guys think, but the role that went on during the main event, or the main card, I should say, with those wins, how competitive the matches were, exciting fights for the fans. It was great. I mean, we're walking away thinking, like last year, our feeling was, okay, it's first time in market. We worked so hard to get legalization in France. First time effect, great. The event was a huge success. And coming here tonight and having the performances of the French athletes that all the athletes put on, and the performance also of the fans, it kind of validated, what the thesis was from the very beginning, which is, we make a commitment to France, and the number of athletes is going to increase, our partnerships are going to increase, the attention around building mixed martial arts in the country is going to increase, and that's played out tonight right in front of our eyes.
Do you think the fact that legalization took so long is part of the reason why there is this explosion of passion the moment it became legal, right? There are guys here training, there are guys here fighting, but now that you can come here and bring the UFC brand here, do you think that combined with the fact it was held back so long is why we're seeing such an explosion?
Yeah, I mean, I think the pent-up demand certainly has, it is one major contributor to the overall success. I'd also say that there's a long history of martial arts in this country and the power of, judo and karate and wrestling and boxing for so long. I think, our sport is one for a much younger demographic, and I think this entrance of MMA into France was, a long time coming, but something that has like a, discernible connection to the community in a lot of ways across the country. And I mean, with the athletes, the level of, quality of the athletes that we saw tonight, I mean, it's not surprising to us at all that that's made such an impact.
It's funny, right? Because every time we do one of these shows in Europe, it seems recently, we end up almost talking about the fans more than we do the fighters. But tonight, for example, they weren't just loud for the main event, the bigger name stars, but it was from the prelims on, and even their reaction to the graphics showing up, they were screaming and chanting for those as well. Yeah. How exciting is that for you to personally experience? And then do you think, as you start to go to more markets next year, those fans are almost going to see what Paris and the UK are like and want to replicate that themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, we're hugely grateful for the response that's happened here in France. I think the last time we were here in Paris, there was 70% of the tickets were bought by people outside Paris, which shows that the love for MMA is all around the country. So yes, we're thrilled. We couldn't be happier with the way that things have played out. Whether other European countries look at France as a model, I mean, I was on the phone after the event with a couple guys back in Vegas who were saying, like, you could tell how loud it was on the broadcast. And the impact that the chants and the singing and dancing and everything had lent itself really well to the broadcast. It made a real powerful statement. Will other European countries rally around that? Like, I'm sure they will in time, but this is a pretty special situation that's happening right now.
You said the first one, you kind of were expecting a home run. The second one validates that. Do you now see Paris and France as a market that guaranteed once a year, this is like an annual visit?
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to. We've said it from, for many years as we were going through the legalization process and meeting with different constituents around the country, like this is a destination we want to be in every year. Next year's tough because of the Olympics. I mean, this year was tough because of the Rugby World Cup coming up and just making sure that, there's ability to sell tickets and, secure the hotels we need and all the transportation. So there's a lot of operational logistics that had to be considered. Next year is a different story with the Olympics and then the Paralympics, which goes really through September, which is typically when we're here. So it's going to be a bit of a different puzzle for us next year, but absolutely it's top of the list for us to come here every year. Thanks. Yes, sir.
Are you considering organizing a fight night in another city in France?
At a university?
Another city.
Oh, another
Not in
city.
Paris.
Pardon. Yes, we've had a lot of conversations, especially this week, about the other destinations that we could go. And if we're able to increase the output for France by more than just one event, there are a few different cities that we would consider. We've talked about Marseille, which I think would be a good destination. And there's a few others that are on the list, but no decisions yet. But we've talked about that a lot this week. So who knows? We'll get the event schedule sorted out for 2024, and we'll get back to you. Yes, sir.
When you see stars break out, not just in France like Benoit Saint-Denis, but you also have fighters like Ilia Topuria, who has such a massive reach in Spain and Germany and Georgia, and there's loads of Jordan fighters. Does that motivate you to put on more European events and maybe over the next few years, looking at Germany, Spain as markets that to go to?
Yeah, I mean, the flat answer is it does. I mean, I think every time there's sort of a breakout performance or someone seems to be climbing the ranks, Dana's like, we got to go to that country, right? We got to take advantage. I mean, it's one of the reasons why, we had the pay-per-view with Leon, right, in March. It's like we've got an opportunity to take an athlete to their home country at a point in their career which we can make the greatest impact. An event like that, because we don't typically have pay-per-views in European time, like that requires a lot of negotiations internally with some of our other partners. But yeah, the short answer is yes. We want to be. I mean, it's a completely different card if we've got that type of performance from all the French athletes, but we're not in France, right? Like the athletic competition is likely the same, but the impact that a live event has is different, and so we want to take advantage of those opportunities.
And speaking of the UK, after London, Paul Craig was very passionate about UFC Glasgow. Now he's been booked with Brendan Allen.
Yep.
UFC Dublin, Glasgow. Are you looking at any more locations in a UK and Ireland sense that over the next year or so to go to?
Yes, we are. I mean, we talked about Dublin last time. It's been a while since we've been into Glasgow, and I know that Paul was trying to curry a little favor for that opportunity. I've been in Manchester in a long time. So yeah, we are absolutely looking at different destinations throughout the UK.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's here.
Hello.
It's hard not to it's hard not to mention Poland, right? Gdańsk last 5 years ago, last one, and we have Rembecki now on the way. Not obviously Las Vegas, because he's already massive. So what's with the Polish country?
It's hard for me to give a firm answer, but it's top of our list. We've got a great relationship with Polsat, and we remember Gdańsk. We've been to Poland, I think, 3 times in our history, maybe.
2, Krakow and Gdańsk.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was there last time for Gdańsk. I remember how intense that was. So yeah, top of our list for her to come, but just nothing to report at the moment.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time. Appreciate all your hard work this week.